This just in, guns don't shoot themselves. Didn't know you needed to fucking preface that. I, I got the media shade on. I got Fox News on. I can't watch CNN or MSNBC at all anymore. It just infuriates me with the propaganda bullshit. Move that power cord. He's at 100. You know, it's like I just saw the picture of the so-called shooter. He's some long-haired, freaky people with a NASA shirt, wearing a skirt. I'm guessing he had some gender confusion issues, just off the top of my fucking skull. I'm guessing he wasn't quite right in the head. Just from the photos that I'm seeing come out about this guy. I'm sorry, am I using the wrong pronoun? It, they, shit, bitch. I'm a blender. I identify as a smoothie blender. I can't keep up with this shit. I really can't. I'm not even trying to be funny about that. I was just like, you know, let's teach the kids about stick your hand in the bowl and choose a gender. Let's not prepare for the inevitability that there may be a crazy man with a gun coming in here to kill you, because God knows we're not going to do anything to prevent that shit. Like fund law enforcement and pay people who are trained professionals to thwart shooters. It's not like we had any idea this might happen. There's only been 27 school shootings this last year alone, right? And the government, you know, it's. I just saw fucking Tales from the Crypt there, Biden there, doing his attempt to stay awake speech, and I wasn't really moved or uplifted by it. I'm sorry, Mr. President. Over here, Mr. President. Somebody get the smelling salts. He's passing out again. After a 17-hour flight. This doesn't happen anywhere. Over here, over here. Read the script there, buddy. All right, thank you. Every fucking time they jump on the same bandwagon. See, this is the time we all need to wake up. We all need gun reform. We all need this. All right, and cry on cue. Oh, I have a child of that age. Yeah, and your kid probably goes to a school where 8 to 10 trained dudes with guns are hiding in plain sight. Because God knows that never happens at rich people's schools, does it? Happens in the public schools because nobody gives a shit about them. And all these politicians and all these media personalities that are making that buku dollar, their kids don't go to these schools. Their kids go to schools where I can guarantee you that private school has at least 4 to 8 trained professionals fully armed. You'd never know they were armed. They may have a dual role. Fucking Janitor Billy. Janitor Billy used to be a spec ops dude for the SEALs. He's probably making $300,000 a year. But there's enough politicians' kids and rich people's kids in the school that they can afford to pay Billy a decent wage after he fought for his country. And now he's on the Blackwater trip. He's mopping that floor, making $300,000 to $500,000 a year. Because if shit pops off, he's going to murk any motherfucker that comes through that door. And your kid's going to be safely behind him. And there's the hypocrisy. Well, that's part of it, right? Janitor Billy, Spec Ops Warrior. You know, not your average liberal, lefty, and the shit they spew. I know a few people that are lefty that I talk to every once in a while. I mean, there's no talking to them. You know, they want to convince you that guns are bad, and that conversation doesn't really go far with me. Oh, really? Okay, guns are bad. Okay. How long have you been mentally challenged? And I'd like to share some statistics with you. It pisses me off how many people try to take advantage of a tragedy for their own agendas on the federal level and everywhere else, even in basic conversation. Just go through the threads on some of these left-leaning media sites and see all these fucking sheep. See, Yeah, okay. Well, isn't he one of your dudes? Or its or blenders or whatever it calls itself or called itself. I don't know. One news station said the cops murked the piece of shit. The other one said he was in custody. And like maybe they murked him and then they handcuffed him, and so no one, everyone's confused. Maybe his eyes are still open. We can't confirm that he is in custody. Oh, and he's dead. Possibly, maybe, we don't know. Back to you, Bob. My child goes to a private school with 18 mercenaries that, but still, it just, when is enough enough? You lying, hypocritical fucking douchebags. I don't know what tangent I'm on. I'm just frustrated with the hypocrisy of everything when it comes to this stuff. And you have to defend yourself and your constitutional rights at every turn when they refuse to look at the reality of the fact that there are evil doers and evil people on this planet, and they will do horrible, evil shit regardless of the device they use to inflict their mayhem. And your lack of oversight and your lack of background checking and your lack of action prior to the event when there were obvious signs that someone wasn't well. I don't know, case in point, the long-haired NASA shirt with the skirt, and I'm sure the fucking all the 4chan threads he posted threats in. Maybe that would have been the first, you know, somebody maybe should have paid attention to that and said, well, maybe we should have a talk with this guy. But nobody does. Nobody did. Or they did, and it was just let go. It says here in your notebook you want to kill everyone in the school, Billy. And you keep drawing these weird cartoons of people being shot. Obviously, you're oppressed by the right-wing media, and you need to be free to express who you are. Well, don't forget, here's the poll. Pick a gender. Pick a gender, Billy. I'm not confused at all. Okay. And then Billy gets a gun and goes and he murders a bunch of kids. And it's the evil gun that's responsible, and that's a bunch of bullshit, and I'm not having it. Sorry. That is not a logical argument to be made. And the moment they find out he's a left-leaning, socialist-type, communist-minded, gender-confused, smoothie blender kind of guy, you won't hear about him again on all the major media sites. He just, poof, he's going, let's change the subject. And if it's a black dude that blows away a bunch of people in public, all right, yeah, well, he was oppressed, he was mistreated by law enforcement, he had a tough time, he's trying to rise up, and okay, well, there's plenty of successful black people in this country that choose not to be criminals, and they're not crazy. But okay, let's make it about that. But let it be a redneck from Alabama with a trucker hat and a six-pack of Bud Light under his arm that walks into a BET award convention and pistol whips a few people and gets a couple shot off. That's white power. They're trying to take over the country. These Nazis need to be stopped. Now, I'm not saying there's racism, crazy. It's America. It's a melting pot of the good, the bad, the ugly, the insane. Fuck racism, sure, it exists. Classism, the hatred of different, ethnic types and genders and nationalities. I mean, people love to hate. It's the American way. Everybody hates somebody and something, no matter where they are on the spectrum, on the far left, far right, and everything in between. We all hate somebody, and we all hate something. Just some of us don't choose to do it with any logical type of passion or a flair for, and the whole flair for the dramatic to seize on news bites in order to further your agendas. It's so transparent. It's pathetic. And y'all need to stop doing that shit. I'm gonna have a few more beers and just go make something to eat and not watch the media. Find a movie or some shit and move on with my life one day at a time. I'm Jake Merica. Have a good night. Deuces.